be my third company that I've looked at. The first two struck out. The first one I was looking at as, this is a couple years back before COVID, and they have more than doubled their price. So, yeah, that completely blew my budget on that one. So they're strike one. Strike two was a company in Minnesota, just a small father and son company, and they advertise on YouTube. And that's where I saw them, and the price seemed real reasonable. But when I tried to contact them, they would never contact me back. So yeah, so they're out. So I'm nervous about today, because at least this one's close enough I can drive to pretty quick. And looking at their website, I don't know, if possibly they too haven't updated their prices, because they still seem pretty reasonable. But again, I could get there and they could tell me that things have gone up quite a bit. So I guess I won't know till I get there and find out. But it just if this falls through, I'm going to really be at a point where I may be forced to just purchase logs that there are companies that actually they'll sell you the logs that they've stripped the bark, kennel dried, and so they're ready for building. But you would have to notch them out yourself. From the time you get that log, you were going to have to do everything. And why I was wanting to deal with a log cabin company was the way they all work is they'll notch everything out and literally piece it together at their facility, and then but they don't actually secure the logs. They just put everything together, kind of like a Lincoln log, and then break it all back down and deliver it to the building site. And then you go from there. You just have to pretty much piece it together. But yeah, if this falls through, I won't have something that clear to just piece together that's already been designed. I would have to do everything myself, and honestly, if I'm honest with myself, I'd be getting in way over my head. I don't have that much experience in building, and so yeah, I'd probably regret that big time if I were to take that step. So I don't know. We'll see what happens today. Now, I'm not going to be filming once I get to this place. I'm not comfortable. Filming. I know a lot of people do it, but I'm not comfortable filming while I'm inside trying to talk to someone about all this. So thought you might like to see the scenery out here. The mountains still have snow on them. I wish I had a view of that from my property, but I don't. Those are big horn mountains. But anyway, so yeah, I guess I will pick you back up after I find out what if there's anything they can do to work with me, if if the prices are still the same, and that will be within my budget if the prices are the same. Now, they don't have the exact model I want, so I am expecting it to. There's something real close. Basically, the floor plan is the same, but just the outside, the roof on their model isn't as steep of a pitch as the one that I picked from another site. But these people, they do have the option to build your own, so I know I can show them what I do want, and they could build that, but it's a little bit bigger square footage. The model that looks exactly like the one I want, or the floor plans are the same. Theirs is only 24 by 40, and mine is, or what I want is 28 by 40. I think 24 feet is a little bit too narrow for my liking. So I know I don't like cramped spaces. That's why I'm really just dying to get out of this RV that I have on the property. So yeah, I want something. I know it's just me, but I definitely want a little bit more elbow room. So yeah, like I say, so I'll pick you up once I've talked to them, and we'll go from there. Although I do want to, so while I got this on my mind, I want to say something that dawned on me. About 4 or 5 days ago, we hit 93 degrees, and it was pretty warm. And I got to thinking about all these data centers going up, and how people are already, they're complaining about the high prices of their electric bills, which I don't blame them. It's outrageous. I just stopped and got gas in town, and it's gone up some. It just went crazy. Last time I got gas, now my truck's a flex fuel, so I can safely run that E85 in my tank. So yeah, I'm not even running full, petro gas. I'm sitting here burning corn ethanol. And a week ago it was $2.95. Well, today I go in and it's $4.05. So yeah, everything's just going up. But yeah, I mean, that hot day really got me to thinking. See, I'm on full solar out at my property, but when the peak summer season hits and everybody's trying to run their AC, but these, our power companies, we've heard for years how antiquated they are, and the grid can't handle loads. Before these data centers even came up, there were areas of the country that may have rolling brownouts because the demand was so high in the summertime. But can you imagine what may happen this summer in peak conditions now that we have more and more of these data centers coming online? High price energy may be the least of your problem. You may be looking at literal, brownouts for God knows who, how long. So my suggestion to any of you that can possibly afford it is I would get a solar powered generator, something like an EcoFlow, or I forget what that other. There's a couple brands that I would, if I were in the market for them, I would look at it. I honestly wish I had went that route, just having a power station like that, big enough to handle the RV, versus doing the whole separate, batteries, inverter, going that route. But so I kind of built my own. But if this is going to be as bad as what I think it might be, you may thank yourself for thinking ahead and buying a power station to at least keep your refrigerator running, because we all know how expensive food is. And I would imagine with this big jump in gasoline prices, foods, there's going to be a big jump in food too that you're going to see pretty soon. So the last thing you'd want is for power to get shut down, and maybe you've stocked up, maybe you bought a lot trying to get ahead, and now maybe you got some meat out in the freezer, in the chest freezer in the garage, and now you got no power, and now all that's going to waste, all that money lost, because you tried to be responsible and prepare, at least on the food side of it. But without power, that's not going to help you out. So yeah, just a thought, that hit me the other day when it got to 93. I mean, we went from 73 the day before to 93, and then within a few days of that, I know we had a low of 27 degrees and the high was only 40. So we're still bouncing around here in Wyoming, but it won't be long, and then we'll probably get socked into one hot day after the other. But anyway, yeah, I would seriously try to fit that one in your budget. If you're just getting something around the 30 or 3,000 watt range, I don't think they're not much over $1,000. So it would be well worth your money if you're sitting there looking at your freezer full of close to $1,000 worth of meat you've stocked up, and it's going on 8 hours and the power still hadn't come back on. you probably be wishing you had bought that solar powered generator. So anyway, with that, yeah, I will pick you back up after I talk to these people, and we'll see what they've got to say. I'll take care. All right, I'm back home. Finished up talking with the sales rep there at the Bighorn Mountain Log Homes, and we talked for about 3 hours, and you know, I kind of discussed what I was looking for. In fact, I brought a photo. Let's see if this shows up good in the. That's the home I wanted. It's from a different company, but it's absolutely, I just love it. And I think some of the steepness of the roof is kind of what gives it the look that I like so much. Obviously it would, now this is shown in a shingle roof. I would like a metal roof. But what I really liked was the upstairs, you know, coming off the loft. There's a porch out here, and that would overlook the valley down below, because I'm right on the top of the hill up here. And I'm retired. I could just picture myself sitting up there in the morning drinking my coffee and just letting life go by. It's a crazy world out there, and I don't want any part of it, so that's why I moved way the heck out here in the middle of no man's land. But, you know, as soon as he saw that roof, he immediately started talking about, oh, that's going to cost quite a bit more. You know, he gave all these various reasons or whatever. He seemed to be steering me towards the model that the floor plan of theirs is the same. You know, it's just a bit of a different look. I'll show you right here. I mean, it's not horrible, but it, I don't know, just not quite as attractive as, yeah, that's better, is what the one I picked out from that other company. Like I say, the floor plan's the same, but, well, let me show you again. As you see in the picture, it doesn't have the porch up top there and everything. So I told him that's something I definitely wanted. So, you know, what he's going to do is give me a estimate, you know, probably here in a couple days after he works it all out. But I told him I do want the upstairs porch coming off the loft. So that's, you know, in his plan, you know, obviously the way his model is, you know, the loft stops about halfway, and then you have the whole open area down below looking down into the living room area. But there will be some, you know, quite a bit more building going on if he's got to make a walk area go from where the loft would all end across the living room, and then a doorway out and into the porch area up top there. So that'll be a little bit more. And like I say, we'll just have to see what his price comes in at. You know, I may have to make, well, I'm already making a compromise in the fact of going with that cabin, his model, that's, you know, really doesn't, it's less appealing to me than the excuse me, the original one I showed you with the steep roofs. And something else he did mention, like I say, we didn't discuss price much, but when he pulled, you know, this booklet out here, and it does have some prices in here. It shows the this model's called the Pine Top, and with the 8-inch rustic logs, the price in this book is only $33,140. And again, that's just for the log structure itself. It's not the roof or anything else, you know. So, but I mean, 33,000, that's reasonable, real reasonable to me. Well, and also again, another alteration I did was, now this is only 24 feet wide by 40 feet long. I want 20, at least 20. I said 20. Do your estimate on 26 feet wide, because 24 just seems awfully narrow to me. Um, but yeah, $33. He said, now that has gone up. So I didn't even want to ask how much. I want to get an estimate on what I've added to it with the upstairs porch, added extra 2 feet wide. Let's just see where he's at. I mean, yeah, I have a price in mind that that's the highest I'm gonna go, and if not, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna come down to either waiting another year or two and saving, and then who knows? The way inflation's going up, I mean, whatever I can save may be exceeded by the cost of inflation, and what price he's giving me now might be, just that much farther out of range in 2 years. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could talk to him about possibly putting a down payment, getting everything settled at today's prices, give him 50% down if he'll just hold off, whatever it is, 2 years until I've saved a bit more money, and then we'll actually, go ahead with the project. I don't know. It's yeah, everything's kind of up in the air, but I'm hoping he'll come back with a reasonable price that falls within the range that I'm willing to pay right now. I mean, like I say, I want at least with the cost. There's the cost of the log package. It's going to be a pretty hefty delivery, cost to get it delivered over here. That's in Buffalo. It's not nearly as far away as what I was originally looking at with that company that never got him back in contact with me. They were all the way in Minnesota, so it'll be less, but still anything today, that's going to be a semi, and I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 loads to get the log package over here or not. So I'm sure that's going to be several $1,000s. And my goal basically right now is just to get it dried in. So, I still have to build the foundation. That's going to be a 4-foot high stem wall. I'm going to have a cement truck come out here and pour the footing. And then I'm going to, I'll buy the bricks and the rebar and all that. So I want to fill the cavity of each cell of the block wall with more cement, which I'll hand mix myself and fill that so it's really good and sturdy. And that's going to be a few $1,000s, and then floor truss are going to be another few $1,000s, and all that good stuff. So yeah, there'll be quite a bit involved here, and so my goal is just basically to get it dried in, and then from there, I just, as I have the money, I can do cabinets, flooring, appliances, and yeah, I guess after, well, I mean, getting the roof on first, like I say, I want everything dried in. I'm sure that'll be somewhat costly, and then after that, I think the last biggest expense I'll have on that build will be a solar system big enough to really, you know, carry me through the winter months when you got several days strung along with cloudy weather. Um, and paired with that, I'll be getting a generator because, yeah, I don't care how big I go with the batteries. If it winds up, we get a blizzard down here and it's clouded over for a week or so. I don't. It'd be cheaper to buy a decent sized generator that can simply charge the batteries back up to 100% when they're getting down low. If we've had 3-4 days concurrent that cloudy weather, have a generator that can just charge them back up within a few hours back to 100% rather than trying to buy this huge battery bank that could go a week without sunlight. So yeah, that'll be the better route to go, get the generator. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I'll just have to wait and see what he says, and then I'll go from there. In the meantime, I'm having more critter critter pests. I couldn't believe it. Last night I went out late in the evening to give them I feed them twice a day, the chickens. And I went out there to the coop, and I was standing inside the run there, throwing down some feed, and all of a sudden a magpie flies out of the small door that they use to come in and out of the coop. And so I usually wait till that evening feeding to go around to the nesting boxes and pick any eggs out of there that they may have laid during the day. And sure enough, like I say, that bird just flew out of there while I was standing right there in the chicken run. So I go around to the nesting box to collect the eggs, and there's one with a hole pecked in it where he was just starting to eat the insides. And so I don't know, I hate to do what I'll call it chicken fence that I used, has probably 2-inch wide by 4-inch wide square holes in them, the netting or however you want to term it. So the magpies can get through there easy enough and then go right inside that small chicken door. And I hate to have to do the whole thing over again with a true chicken wire that's just these small little octagon shaped circles. But if it keeps happening, I can't stand out there all day with a gun and try to shoo them off or whatever. But yeah, so now I got a new problem there that I'll have to deal with. But yeah, so I'm kind of nervous. I would absolutely be crushed if I have to wait a couple more years to try to save a bit more money, till I feel comfortable and tell them to go ahead with the project. And again, all the while knowing if things keep going up, the inflation may stay one step ahead of me as far as how much I can save in a year's time to go towards the cabin build. So when I get word, when he calls me back, I'll make another video and update where I'm at with this. But yeah, so that's all I got to say on that right now. I'm really kind of disappointed because I don't know. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, and if he only comes in with so many thousand more, I may just ask him. I'll say, hey, well, okay, if that's what you can build that other cabin for, then what can you build this one for with the steep roofs and all that? Because I really like that design a lot better than his design, even if the floor plans are pretty similar. Just the outside looks, I just like the architecture of that first cabin a lot better. So anyway, with that said, hope everyone's doing okay, and we will see you later. Bye.